talking a bit about the names of the companies that Christina Cook founded. They very often sound quite similar to real big health-related companies. For example, you find nothing on Google about MLPP, but you find some similar sounding health-related companies, of which none mentions Christina Cook or Rahm as the founder or CEO. Also, there are a lot of legitimate health companies with the name C3 on Google. Before you stumble across Christina Cook's C3 on Facebook, you know? So it may seem as though she was the founder of such big company. Of course, this imitation of names of legitimate companies can deceive customers. During just superficial inquiry, people may think that these are Christina Rahm's companies and get the wrong impression that she was the CEO and founder of huge successful companies, and this is just wrong, you know? So better always have a closer look. Are these really these companies? Is the person listed there? Is it maybe just something sounding similar, you know? So yeah, it kind of seems as though she just chose these names to get related to these bigger companies. So if there was a plan behind this. And like mentioned before, she founded many health and wellness related companies, and she uses these to advertise her own products. On this one website, for example, it says, "The Root Brands is honored to have partnered with the world-renowned International Science Nutrition Society in order to perform third-party independent testing and scientific collaborations with scientists, doctors, researchers, hospitals, and companies operating in both the scientific and nutrition fields." So, Root Brands, which is owned by Christina Cook and her husband, congratulate themselves for starting a cooperation with ISNS, which is a foundation of Christina Cook, which they also praise highly. Therefore, the statement on third-party independent testing obviously is a lie here, you know? So again, you could call this deceit, right? So what we've learned is that Christina Cook sells overpriced products that are already known before she developed them, and then she advertises them as being way better than they actually are. To advertise them, she uses current topics that people that are close to nature and alternative methods may be interested in. For example, if you're scared of poisons and heavy metals from vaccines, you should use Root Brand's Clean Slate. If you are scared of 5G and environmental toxins, you should use Mercy Dupla and buy their fashion. If you want to do something against the opioid crisis in the USA, you should better ask DC2 with their topical analgesics, you know? And there are more such connections. If you look on Instagram, Dr. Rahm has 2.1 million followers, which is more than Nina Official. She's more known in Germany, where I think she also was quite known worldwide. But yeah, just for comparison, you know, she has 134K followers. So it's a bit strange to have that many. And if you have a look at her followers and what they post and how they react, you very fast get the impression that they are purchased and not real accounts, because many of these accounts are from abroad. They don't have any followers, but they follow a lot of many other accounts. Also, the number of likes below different posts of Christina Rahm is very similar. And the comments themselves under pictures are often very redundant, because you can see here under this link, the word legacy is very overused in all these comments, as though it's some kind of programming going on, you know? So this seems unreal, to be honest. And if we have a closer look at Christina Cook's CV, we find that she's primarily experienced in selling and marketing, for example, doing presentations or merchandising medications. For example, she solicited and promoted antibiotic and antifungal pharmaceuticals for Pfizer and provider groups in hospitals, oncology units, and institutional settings. So this just means that she was a pharmaceutical referent, right? Also, she was sales and public relations supervisor for a prior authorization branch in the pharmaceutical industry for Galloway Pharmaceuticals, which again means she did something with sales and marketing. We don't even know if this is true, you know, this could also be constructed. But this, if it's true, this means that it had nothing to do with sciences, you know? So, yeah, it was more like selling and marketing. Also, her degree from the Root Brands website reads that she has a master's degree and PhDs in counseling psychology from the South Alabama University and Sarasota University. But we did not find Christina Cook or Christina Rahm of the website of these universities, which would of course be very untypical, especially if she had her doctor's thesis from there. So it's not the case. Her name is not listed. So it seems as though she never attained these degrees that she talks about in her CV, on her CV. At least she didn't do so at these universities. Further, she published a book called Cure the Causes at a publisher called Gatekeepers Press. If you look who that is, you find that this publisher corrects and releases any book for a few €1,000. Thus, they're not a reputable publisher because they have no pre-selection of topics or of authors. They would just publish anything if you give them money. Further to be found online is an interview with Christina Rahm, which was done by MedTech World. And they invite people from the field of medicine technology and also marketing speakers. The interview seems kind of constructed again and like an advertising show. And Christina Cook talks about products that make people become younger again. So it's quite much of a promise, don't you think? But it also totally fits the style of advertising that we had seen before. And here she mentions several times that CTC Inc., like Cure the Causes, like the title of her book, will soon release products. She says these will be fashion, dietary supplements, and more. She does not name the names Root Brands or Mercy Duple, but just that CTC is going to sell these things. Her CV from Root Brands also lists her as the founder of CTC Inc. If you look at this, you'll find that CTC Inc. is probably really the head of the organization of all her companies, and it's occupied with copyrights, patents, trademarks, and also with the writing of books. So, yeah, I guess you may agree with us that this all really sounds dubious and strange. So there's one last slide to look at now, and it is concerned with a further interesting inquiry concerning Root Brands done by someone else online. They investigated Root Brands, but in terms of how they treat their salesmen, not in analyzing their products or their styles of, lying online or something like that. But this person mentions that Root Brands is mainly about marketing and advertising their system of selling and not about the products or their quality. In the text from the link, he also explains the system of selling in more detail. You can totally have a look at it. It's worth reading. He there further mentions that Root Brands does not only rip off its customers, but also its salesmen. Namely, the 55% a salesman should reach for reaching the next sales level do not lead to a higher profit participation of the salesman as Root Brands promises them will happen. So if you're also interested in this, you may take the time to read the text on the website. It's really interesting, and you'll find that unfortunately it doesn't mention every source it uses, but it kind of sounds close to what we learned about them, and it would just totally fit the whole system of selling and giving out overpriced products and everything. They just want to make money, it seems that way. So all in all, the text actually sounds quite credible considering what we already learned, and it's very worth a read. So much for now. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I hope that you also started to wonder a bit now what all these things mean. Maybe you have some answers. That would also be great. If you know something from that, about that, then it would be very interesting to read about this in the comments. Maybe you also have some other questions, or maybe you even have hints for other companies that would also be interesting to have a closer look at, because we are always eager to research about new or different companies that also seem strange. So thank you all for listening and have a great day. Bye!